Touchdown! San Francisco!
McCaffrey's gonna score!
He gets picked off by Hufanga. Fred Warner with the INT. George Kittle.
That's a sackaroonie, baby.
The ball is out. It is picked up. Run back the other way.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Gold Rush Podcast. I am your host, Javen Takar. Thank you so much for tuning back into another episode. Alrighty, so this is going to be something a little bit different here. Folks, welcome to the 49ers Niners 9. So this is going to be something different that I'm trying out that I won't be doing for all of my videos or nothing like that, but it's going to be a once in a while thing. So basically, the gist of it is we're going to have 3 49ers topics, and we're going to talk about them 3 minutes each. Now, it might sound a little bit crazy, like that's not enough time to get through them, but I think that's what brings some fun into it. It's supposed to get you some Niners information, some of my opinion out there in a very, very fast way. It forces me to really focus on the important stuff, and hopefully you, the listener at home, can enjoy some 49ers news for just 9 minutes. Now, of course, this video you probably see, oh, wait a minute, this is not 9 minutes long. Well, here I am yapping for, probably like 2 minutes here on this intro. Then there's going to be an outro. So yes, the videos will be a little bit longer, but talking purely on the topics, yeah, we're going to go 3 minutes. So without further ado, let's go on ahead into our first topic. 3 minutes on the clock, we're going to be going ahead and talking about Mr. Brandon Aiyuk, what is going on with him. So today, as I'm recording this, he tweeted out at Mike Tomlin, at Coach Tomlin, they saying we twins, what you think? Eyes emoji. Of course, there's this whole thing going on. Are the 49ers going to trade Brandon Aiyuk? Are they going to pay Brandon Aiyuk? What's the price looking like? Well, unfortunately for us, the Cleveland Browns, who just traded for Jerry Jeudy, went on ahead and extended him a crazy contract. They extended him he's basically getting paid $19 million a year. Brandon Aiyuk is going to want so much more than that. Obviously, $20 million isn't going to be cutting it. Brandon Aiyuk is going to be asking for like $24 million at least. It's going to be team breaking, honestly, and it's going to be tough to see if the 49ers really are able to make that type of money, or if they're able to come to an agreement on something a little bit less. Now, along with this, he also liked a reply to a video of him picking up the phone and hanging up on it. It was some sort of meme. And the guy said Niners trying to call him. He said, nah, LOL. Brandon Aiyuk went on ahead and liked that post. Very concerning stuff. Don't know if I appreciate it by Brandon Aiyuk, but I do hope the whole thing gets resolved. Of course, we think back just last season, Deebo Samuel, he's in the club. There's a sign, Deebo's staying, #Niners, and Deebo, nope. Out of here. And of course, they ended up working stuff out. I do think Kyle Shanahan and the rest of the organization enjoys Brandon Aiyuk's presence. I think that Brandon Aiyuk enjoys Brock Purdy as quarterback. He is a focal point of the offense, especially with how he's been developing. Yes, he was the 4th option last season. He hit 1K. Now he is probably the 2nd option, honestly, with how McCaffrey's been. Okay, he's the 1st option. Kittle, he's been a blocker recently. Deebo, not able to stay on the field. So now it's Aiyuk's time to step up. He is that receiver 1 role, and I do think that that role is with the 49ers. Now, about compensation, it was reported that the Jaguars were interested in him, and the 49ers asked for their 1st round pick number 17, and Zay Jones. So now, if he's getting traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers, we could be looking at a 1st round pick at the very minimum, which, at the end of the day, as much as we all love Brandon Aiyuk, we can't turn down a 1st round pick. So if John Lynch picks up the phone and a team is saying, hey, we're willing to give our 1st round pick for Brandon Aiyuk, I do think the 49ers are going to listen. I don't think that price point is going to be cheap, as the price point for Brandon Aiyuk isn't going to be cheap. But I do think that it is going to be worthy enough to where, if it were to happen, the Niners have enough assets to either get a replacement or trade up to get a replacement. Either way, I think that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan have a way to handle this, and so we'll just wait for it to play out. I won't be disappointed until we get the actual news. All right, so that's going to wrap up the first 3 minutes on that first topic. Topic number 3 is going to be on about the new free agents. So yes, I covered the first wave, of course, Gross Matos, Leonard Floyd, Jordan Elliott, all those guys. I covered them in my previous video if you want to go check that out, a little bit longer than 3 minutes. Now we've only got 3 minutes to talk about 5 guys that we've recently signed. So first and foremost, Devondre Campbell, middle linebacker for the Green Bay Packers. He's a little bit older, dealing with a little bit of injuries, but I am excited for him as a tackler, as a veteran presence on the defense. I love this move, and I'm pretty pumped for it. He was always a serviceable linebacker, and he's probably only going to be temporary until Dre Greenlaw comes back. I am kind of concerned on how he moves, though. Again, he's a little bit older, going to be a little slower. He's not going to be as on the ball as Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw are, but a sure tackler, and I'm not mad at it. Chase Lucas, cornerback. He is more of a special teams guy. Can't say too much on him, but welcome to the Bay. And then Brandon Parker, who is coming from the Las Vegas Raiders, an offensive lineman. The only, it was the first offensive move the 49ers made in this free agency. Probably just some O-line depth, and hopefully he can kind of step in if Trent Williams goes down or Colt McKivitz. And I'm not too sure if he can play any guard, though, so that could be kind of interesting to see there. Isaac Yiadom, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Really interested in this signing here. A very underrated veteran safety. I've got a graphic that I'm going to put up here. In press, he's in press coverage a lot, and he is good in press coverage a lot. Very out there. So I'm very excited for this. It's only a $4 million contract. He only allowed 23 receptions on 47 targets, and he was 22nd in PFF's coverage grading. So I'm very pumped for Yadom. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Otherwise, I will learn. I think he's going to be a very solidable, very playable cornerback alongside Travarius Ward and Deommodore Lenoir. Give some competition to Ambry Thomas. And then last up, backup quarterback Joshua Dobbs, the Pastronaut, is joining the Bay. And hey, again, I'm happy about it. I don't hate the move. Getting a sure backup quarterback has been big in the league. We've seen a lot of teams with starting quarterbacks go out and get valid backup quarterbacks because of how last year went with all the quarterback injuries. You need a guy that's going to be able to play the system, that's going to be able to keep your team afloat. Josh Dobbs is a very, very smart quarterback. I think that he's going to adjust very well to the Kyle Shanahan system. And he's just a fan favorite. He's a cool guy. So I'm very pumped to have him in that quarterback room. And and I got 18 seconds left here. Let's talk a little bit more about Leonard Floyd. Super excited for him. I think he's going to be better than Chase Young, who went on ahead and signed with the New Orleans Saints. Sure, he's older. Sure, he doesn't have as much potential. We know what we're going to get, though, and that's going to be 9 to 10 sacks. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for the free agency. Next topic, folks. All right, and for this next topic, we're going to go into the draft process. So we talked about, the current roster. We talked about some new additions. Now we're talking about future additions. So the 49ers sit at pick number 31. Going to be very interesting to see how they maneuvered there. So in this video, we're specifically going to focus on the offensive linemen that are going to potentially be available there. There are some cornerbacks also, but we'll get into the draft prospects specifically a little bit more later on, not in just this Niner 9, folks. So offensive line, it does seem like the Niners are heading in that direction. Of course, they bought back John Feliciano. They extended Colton McKivitz, but I do believe that they bring in some competition, because if those guys do disappoint, you're going to want somebody else to throw in there, and especially if they're young, they can develop. First and foremost, J.C. Latham, O-tackle out of Alabama. I don't think he'll be there at 31. He's one of the top-rated prospects. But, of course, if he falls, great. Talise Fuaga, really fun to watch. I absolutely love him. But, unfortunately, again, he's one of the top prospects. Unless if the Niners can trade up, he might be there in the mid-teens, potentially to the 20s. If the Niners want to trade up and go there, beautiful. Another guy who might be there if they want to trade up, Troy Fautanu. Troy Fautanu from Washington, a little bit smaller guy, 6'4", but oh boy, he might be my favorite tackle. Actually, no, the next guy is going to be my favorite. But Troy Fautanu, he's a really good pass protector. I love his footwork. I'm a big fan of Fautanu. But Amarius Mims showed out at the Combine, a big behemoth of a man at 6'8". I really hope that we are able to land Mims. He might be there at 31, but I do believe that, some teams, because of his combine, showing off his athleticism with that size, some teams are going to take that risk on him. He only started 8 games for Georgia, so he's a little bit of a prodigy. And I think that if we are able to pair him with Trent Williams, oh my goodness, that would be nasty. I really hope he can land Mims. He's kind of like if Trent Brown was able to move. Very big fan of Mims. Another guy is Graham Barton, who I was listening to Locked On 49ers. They were saying that this guy can kind of play all over the O-line. So he could be interesting to see because I know the Niners love their versatile guys. Of course, remember, Daniel Brunskill, he was playing all over the line. So if we're able to get Barton, who can start at center, he can start at guard, he can start at tackle, whatever part of the pieces is struggling, we're able to throw him in there. Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma, standing at 6'8" as well. Again, a good pass protector, but he's not as great of a mover as Mims is. Mims is my number one guy. If we're able to get him, even trade up for him, I think that's well worth it. And then Jordan Morgan is going to be the last prospect I'm going to be able to talk about. Arizona, 6'5". I think that he will be there for sure at 31. He's kind of in my opinion, probably the last resort. Okay, that's gonna wrap it up, folks. We got 3 seconds. I'll get into draft prospects a little bit more later on. Okay, well, that was fun. That was the Niner 9, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too fast. I mean, if you do feel like letting me know, please leave some feedback. And if you guys just hated it, I won't do this again. But if you guys enjoyed it, if you guys enjoyed just getting some quick, fast-paced Niner news, lovely. I'll keep going. Make sure you go on to Run Amok. Every Sunday, we got the Sunday show. We're going closer and closer to the draft, so I'm going to be covering a lot of prospects soon. This Sunday is going to be a really fun episode. I would highly recommend tuning in this Sunday. And yeah, tune into the Gold Rush, of course, where I'm trying to upload a little bit more. Again, I'll talk about draft prospects a little bit more. I only have 3 minutes, so I was only able to talk about a couple guys and just really get some names out there, maybe a little bit of traits. But, later on in the coming days, coming weeks, I will go more in depth on these guys and some other positions the Niners could look at. Of course, I only really talked about the offensive line because the Niners addressed the defense so much in free agency. I do think they go offense mainly in the draft. So I hope you enjoyed. Again, let me know what you think. This was a lot of fun for me to record, though, because I can talk really fast. So it was kind of good to challenge me a little bit and get my thoughts out there in a very quick manner. I feel like I can go on a little bit long sometimes. So, yes, make sure you check out all the socials in the description below. Again, this was a lot of fun. I will see y'all in the next episode. Tune in for more. Alrighty. Peace out, faithful.